Okay, welcome peers to this book discussion. Today we are going to interchange some ideas about the book Animal Farm by George Orwell. And I'm going to share my screen, or I don't know if you are, just let me know if you can see the PowerPoint presentation to
Yes,
continue.
I can see.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, thank you. Okay, the members of the groups are Freddy Osvaldo Cruz Martinez, that's me, Víctor Manuel Hernández Salinas, Julio César Burgos Paz, Irving Josué González García, Juan Carlos Hernández Molina, Karen Patricia Ramírez de Girón,
This is me.
and the tutor, licenciado Leonel Alberto Sevillano Recinos. The course, English Reading Techniques, and the topic that we have today is a book discussion about the Animal Farm. It is an interesting book by George Orwell. Okay, I will start the introduction and I will try to summarize as much as possible the plot of this book before starting. Okay, this book is basically, let's say, is like what many Latin American countries are facing now, where the politicians they promise a lot of things, but when they have the power, they forget their promises and they do whatever they want. And the author makes some comparison between the animals and the typical groups of power that we have in all the countries. And we have there pigs, donkeys, horses, ducklings, cats, rabbits, rats, etc. And that is what is basically the book about. It is a comparison of how the governments or how politicians ruled a country uh, with different strategies. That will be the introduction for the book discussion, and we are going to move on to the first stage, which is some questions. But to do this, I want you to all your participations. Uh, Remember to turn off your microphone when somebody else is speaking to make the meeting more enjoyable. So these are the questions. I am going to be asking one of you to answer them. Okay, we're going to start. Um, Question number one goes for Patricia. Patricia, what are the difference between the book and the movie? The microphone is all yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, one difference is that in the movie didn't appear two characters. As examples, the Mayor Clover and Molly. Another thing is that the old mayor in his dream, he saw in the movie, he is angry with the Mr. Jones. And in the book, he saw all the animals suffering by humans, by men. Um, in the movie, the old mayor died as soon as he finished giving his speech. And in the book, he died 3 days later of the speech. In the movie, the animals create five roles, but in the book, they had seven rules or commandments in order to fulfill. And the removal of the pig's noble In the novel, the dogs make him run away from the farm, but in the movie is different because the dogs kill the pig, kill the snowball. And another scenes related to the dogs is that in the no, in the book, the novel, the Napoleon, the pig, uh, stole the puppies from their mother. But in the movie, he rescues the puppies because their mother was killed in the bath. These are the difference that I found between the movie and the book.
Okay, thank you, Patricia, for your answer. It is very interesting, and yes, there are many differences between the book and the movie, and we could see that they are not alike, like water, like two tears of water. They are totally different. Thank you, Patricia. We are going to continue with the next question, and this question goes for Juan Carlos. Juan Carlos, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Juan Carlos, I'm going to ask you, what make the story distinctive?
Okay, guys, thank you for your question. Well, the story, as you have said before, is related with animals, right? But the author in this case is addressing two issues, which is, I mean, it's kind of related with a fictional fable, but also is a political satire, because in the book, the animals of course, the main character are the animals, right? And they have like human characteristics. So they are able not only to talk, but also to organize, to, in this case, we have a leader, right? Which is the pig. And they are able to take decision in order to fight, and in order to get the same rights as for all the animals. And also in the story, this author address the this way of government, which is animalism, and but in this case, this is related with the Estalinism, that is a way of government in the Society Union in the years 1922 and also in the years 1953. Okay, and this kind of this book specifically was really a banned in those years, because it was a strong criticized of the way of this government. And we could compare this situation with our country or many Latin countries, right? When people promise many things, they seem like they are in the same way. They have the same thought that the other people, but when they have power, they forget everything. Thank you.
Okay, Carlos, I totally agree with you. And that is something that we have seen in many countries. And that is what the author tried to represent in this interesting book, Animal Farm. Okay, thank you, Juan Carlos. We're going to move on to the next question. This question number 3 goes for Irving. Irving, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Irving, listen the question and then try to answer it, please. Question number 3, it says, is the period in which the story is set important to the theme, and why?
Uh,
The
yes.
microphone is all yours.
Okay. Yes. From my point of view, the period of time is very important to develop the plot of the story for the following reason. First, as we can figure out reading the book and watching the movie, there is a typical farm and with a simple farm with no industrial process. So animals got a lot of space to make this meeting and and organize themselves to make the revolution. Instead, nowadays, because nowadays a lot of big farm are has industrial process and where these animals don't have a lot of space and they have a lot of people around them watching the process of the develop of the farm. So in the book and the movie, we can see that there is one person to administrate all the farm. But nowadays, in, in an industrial farms, we can see a lot of people with cameras and other technology process to develop the agro-industrial process to make more more food and increase the money they earn. That's the reason I think the period of time is very important to develop because nowadays I cannot see an animal revolution like this. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Irving. Right, Irving. Uh, what you have said it is true, right? The period in which a story is set it is important because we can see that the revolution the animals create was something innovative at that time, something that hadn't happened, and they were like a bad example for other people and for the neighbor for the neighbor farms, right? Um, I remember that the neighbors' farms, the animals from the neighbor farm, they tried to imitate what was happening in the animal farm. Okay, thank you. We're going to move on to question number 4 that goes for Julio. Julio, are you there?
Yes, yes, I am ready.
Okay. Listen, the question number 4. What are the difference and similarities between the book and the movie? Go ahead.
Well, like all the books, Animal Farm, the book is different from Animal Farm, the movie. One of the reasons is the characters. Some of the characters that were in the book were not in the movie. Some of the events that were in the book were not shown or did not happen in the movie. Um, these were events like the banknote and some of the things that Squealer said to them, like how he convinced them to let the pigs use the apples and meal in their mash. Um, they did not even mention this event in the story. Another thing is that they did not even mention in the movie were the Sunday meeting, and something they didn't mention in the book was Napoleon addiction to whiskey. One of the main events in the book that was not shown in the movie was the battle where a boxer split his hoof. The only two battles that happened were the rebellion and the battle of Coachella.
That's it?
That's all.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Julio, for your answer. Yeah, there are some differences that we could see. For example, the windmill, in the movie it was destroyed by Mr. Jones, right? But in the book it says that they were looking for a guilty, and it turns out that the guilty was Snowball, but that was totally false. Okay, and the last question for the first block of questions is for Victor. Victor, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, Victor, listen the question number 5, which is for
Okay.
you. Okay, it says, were the plot and subplots believable? Were they interesting?
Okay. Hi, everybody. Um,
Hello?
from my point of view, plot and solve describe all things that occur in the text in the story step by step. For example, author mentioned in the first point the name of the animals, the abilities, and the responsibilities that each one have in the farm. Second, he described that animals have different meaning on Sundays to prepare a revelation, and also this revelation had sexful, and animal had the control and manage all things in the farm, and also they avoid all rules that humans have to manage the farm. And also, animals had different beetles for obtain the peace and obtain the best way to manage the farm. But leaders weren't good than they appeared in the first moment that they make some group for start the revelation, and also the pigs leaders became in the dictators, and they also in some cases have different conversation with the other leader of the another farms on the neighborhood, and they do different things that isn't good for the farm, for the group of animal, as mentioned in page number 29, chapter number 8, that says that pigs leaders have different mirroring with the other leaders, and also they bribe with authorities and also with government. In my humble opinion, these kinds of events uh, occur in the real life world, in the everyday life in our country and also around the world.
Okay, thank you, Victor. Very interesting your participation. And yeah, I will say that the plot and subplots were believable and they were interesting. When I was reading, I started laughing in some points of the story because I remember it came to my mind some politicians that we have here in El Salvador when the pigs were behaving like gods, like they felt superior than the other animals, and that is nasty, right? I hate that. Okay, uh, let me explain the second part or the second block of questions. Okay, in this these are the questions that you are going to ask between each other. I'm going to ask Victor to read the first question for Patricia. So, Victor, read question number one, and Patricia is going to answer it. So, are you
Sure.
ready, Victor and Patricia?
Yes.
Yes,
Patricia?
yes, I'm ready. Yes.
Okay, dear
Okay, Victor, go
Patricia.
ahead.
Okay, dear Patricia, does the author rely heavily or primarily in symbolizing?
Okay. I think that not really. He didn't rely on imagery and symbolism because apparently he was disappointed about that, and because of the story, I think that he didn't trust on the politician and on the image that the movement represent. And something that caught my attention is that in the story, there was a crowd that talk about the sugar mountain and an opportunity for the animals that after death. And I think that it represents the religion because nowadays some people talk about uh, heaven and something sweet after death. It's a way to tell the people be quiet, do not worry. and it doesn't matter what happened in this life. After you die, you are going to be extremely happy. This is my opinion. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Patricia. What you said is very interesting, and yeah, the author tries to use symbolism to a better understanding for the audience, right? For the reader or for the people who watch the movie. Okay, Patricia, this is gonna be like a chain, right? The first person is going to ask the next question to the other member. So in this case, Patricia, please read question number two, and it will be directed, or it will go for Irving. Irving, are you there? Are you ready? Irving.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay, Patricia, go ahead.
Okay. So, Erwin, tell us what motivate the behavior of the characters.
Well, I think there is a set of situation that make the change of the character. The first one I can say is the alcoholic illness that Mr. Jones suffering. We can see and we can read how Mr. Jones drinking alcohol and beer and bullying all the animals when they become to the farm. The second situation that make the change the behavior of character is all the excuse me the all major speeches because they they set in contrast how Mr. Jones treats all the animals and how and and this all major also put in contrast when how the future of the farm if animal have the power. The second is the way all the pigs set the rule of the new farm, the rule of animal farm, and how they and how those pigs teach all those animals the principle of this farm. The third situation, I think, is the how the pigs make the make the animals believe them, singing the singing every day the song the Peace of England to enrich the new rules and the farm principle. When all the animals believe in the future of animal farm, they believe that the all animal going to be equal, but it doesn't happen. So all the animals thought that they going to be different to the humans. So I think that's that set of situation that change the behavior of the characters. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Irving. Thank you for your participation. And as I said before, because this is a change, so you are going to continue. You are going to ask the question number three, which goes for Julio. Julio, are you ready for question number three?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Irving, go ahead. Read question number three for Julio.
Okay, Julio. Why do you think the author chose to write the book in this way?
This is a very interesting question. Orwell, born in England, considered himself anti-fascist and anti-communist, and even fought in the Spanish Civil War against Franco. The book analyzed the Russian Revolution of 1917, was rejected by many publishers since the way it was written made the representation of Stalin as a pig, and this looked politically incorrect. In chapter one, the old pig mayor is compared to Stalin and the speech that he said is one of the most memorable moments of both the book and the movie. The speech is based on the Communist Manifesto. Um, That is where the biggest comparison occurs, since the old pig major decides to tell all the animals about his dream and then dies before being able to see the revolution. Similar things happen in the real life, since Stalin died before the Russian Revolution. George Orwell was declared anti-communist to the point of having to go live with his family and friends to be away from communists.
Okay, thank you, Julio, for your participation. And I agree with you, with your point of view. That was very nice. Okay, we're going to continue with the change. Julio, you are going to read question number 4. And that question goes for Juan Carlos. Juan Carlos, are you there? Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, Juan
Okay,
Carlos,
Julio.
question number
Continue.
4. What did the author attempt to do in the piece? What is successful?
Okay, thank you for your question. Well, in my opinion, the author um, wanted to show us this hard situation or this issue that is happening worldwide, right? Not just in our country, but also in many countries, and where people um, when have the power, uh, they do many things, right? In this case, I will say that we can see many things, positive things and negative things, right? I would say that the animals were able to join together in order to um, get equal rights or the liberty in this case. But then they realized that someone else was taking advantage of them. And I think this is happening not just in governments or something like that, but also in our daily life where people tend to discriminate others. Because in this case, the pigs are supposed to be the smartest. And I feel like if we are talking about the leader is not just giving instruction or supervising things. They need to work with the ones that have weakness and also um, make them feel successful. Thank you.
Okay, Juan Carlos, thank you for your answer. Hey, what you said is true. We are going to find in everywhere people that feel superior than others, and they abuse from their power. Right when they have, you have to give them a little bit of power, and they feel like if they were god or goddesses. In if they were if we are talking about women. So we're going to continue with the chain. With the chain. Juan Carlos, you're going to ask the last question to Victor. Victor, are you ready?
Yes, I am ready. I am here.
Okay, Juan Carlos.
Okay,
Then the last question.
okay, Victor. Did the outer leave loose ends? Where were they? What do you think?
Okay, thanks. Regarding with the questions, um, first of all, I must be honest and say that the author was so 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 smart, and he was a philosopher because I love the way he described all aspects that occur in the story, and also I love the way he wrote the short fragment that says that animals create their own school thoughts called animalisms. Was so incredible and was so wonderful and so interesting for to understand the context of the story. In addition, if I have the opportunity to choose my favorite character of the movie, I would like to choose a boxer. because I consider that boxers identify me with the way to work hard and never say no. But in my humble opinion, I consider that the author left loose end, three loose end. For example, animals never gave to the other animals the main reason what happened with the milk that they report to lose. Yes, animal pig cells that they use for the feeding of the pigs, but I don't know why no animal asks more about the milk for finding an specific reason. And the second point that I consider is what happened with Mouse, the ribbon. He disappears in the story and he returned to the story, but I don't know why a different animal asks about him. And the third point is what happened if another animal realize about the dark mirroring that the pigs had with humans. Pigs didn't give them so another explication about the dark meeting that they have with humans. And I think that there are 3 points that author left lost links. Okay, thanks.
Okay, Victor, thank you very much. When I was reading the book, at the end, the animals were in the window. Imagine what I'm saying right now. They were in the window watching the pigs in a meeting, and then suddenly they were like they were seeing for a second pigs, and for a second Mr. Jones. They were humans and they were pigs, and they were furious, right? They were angry with the pigs, and we don't know what happened next. So the I guess the author left the loose end on purpose because he wanted the reader to imagine what will be, or like to get a moral, to get a moral for the story. Okay, we're almost finishing, and I'm going to to summarize the story, because that is my part, my conclusion, the conclusion. Okay, to summarize, I would like to share my personal opinion of the story with this question: and why did the author use animals to represent human behavior? Okay, firstly, the writer mentioned a secret meeting that took place in a big barn where pigs, horses, cows, the ducklings, rats, and rabbits gather. You can find this information in chapter number 1, in the last paragraph, in the first paragraph of page number 2. Here represents real people through animals. For example, pigs could be our politicians who eat everything, right? And who feel superior to everyone. On the other hand, horses, cows, donkey could represent the hardworking people who spend their whole life in a job. Eating is necessary to survive. For me, it was very easy to identify some of our politicians. In the end, the moral that this story conveys is that if each of us joins for a common cause, we are able to reach anything. There wouldn't be anything that we could reach. But the condition is that each individual cooperates in the same direction. Okay, well, this was our presentation. I hope you have enjoyed it as I did. I don't know if you have any questions. If everything is clear like water, that was all. Okay, guys, thank you for your participations. I don't know if you want to say
You,
goodbye, you can do it now.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
you
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to stop the recording right now.